Hi, my name is Natalie, and I have been doing emotional work and teaching and practicing tantric meditations for the past 10 years. I do private sessions with men, women, and couples, and I help them with the emotional work around the physical issues that they're experiencing in their lives, in their sexual lives, and in their relationships. And I am a woman, and I still talk a lot about male sexuality because I talk to so many men about these subjects. But most of the work I have done with myself, and I am female. So today I wanted to talk about the differences in, how men and women become horny and want to have sex, because I think it works very differently for men than it does for women. And this again is from talking to a lot of men and from being a woman, and I also did and do a lot of sessions with women too. So I think I have a lot of insights on this subject. So I want to talk about the differences between men and women and what gets them horny, what gets them sexually aroused, and then things that we can do to kind of, bridge the differences between us. Because if we're straight and, we're attracted to the opposite sex, there are going to be big differences, especially around sexuality. And instead of fighting these differences, we want to understand the differences and be compassionate to them, and then maybe create a bridge so that we can meet in the middle. So what makes us horny? I think, what arouses us sexually. I think with men, it can be very physical, very visual. Men are very visual with their sexual energy. They see a woman who is their taste and, looks good in their eyes, and sexual energy can start to get activated in the body, and they want to have sex with her, and if she wants to have sex with them, it will happen very easily. It's a very visual thing. That doesn't mean that he's going to want to have a relationship with her, but if we're just talking about having sex, I think it is very visual for men, very physical. For women, yes, we are attracted physically to specific men, but because men are more mental, they're driven by their thoughts, and their mental activity is very dominant. With women, it's our emotional activity that's very dominant. And that's a good thing. We're not the same. Men and women are not the same, and that is a good thing. Women are more driven by emotions. So she could meet a man who's not that very attractive or very good looking, but he's very compassionate, or he listens to her, he understands her, or he's just a good person, he does good things in the world, and she can be attracted to those traits. If we're talking about couples, and I work with a lot of couples, so I know that this happens. Men married someone they're attracted to, they have, this whole day at work, dealing with people, a lot of stress. They're thinking about the sex they're going to have when they come home that's going to help them relax. But the woman is very emotional and going through things throughout her day, and she's waiting to have a good conversation with her husband when she comes home. Now, having a good conversation means that I talk about whatever I'm going through. It can be really stupid and silly stuff, but if my partner cares about me and he's listening to me and he's there for me when I'm talking about all these stupid things, that's going to arouse me sexually, because it's not about the content, it's about the emotional relationship we have between us. And I need a man to be a container for all my stupid, childish, ridiculous emotions and thoughts that are going through my head and through my body. And I need my partner to be there to just be with me with them and just contain them, not try to fix them, not try to tell me what to do, not be my enemy and tell me, oh, you're so stupid that you think that way. That's not going to make me horny. That's not going to raise my sexual energy in any way whatsoever. And with men, I think sex helps relieve tension. The physical sex, the physical ejaculation of sexual energy helps them with the stress that they're feeling. They feel less stressed after they have sex. With women, sometimes I can't get into the sex if I'm stressed. So I need a decompression. I need a conversation before. I need someone to listen to me. I need someone to be on my side. I need someone to contain all the crazy emotions that I have. And then I will be horny for the sex. And then I can enjoy the sex and be present in the sex and actually have fun in the sex. So that's the first thing. we work differently. Sometimes, for a lot of men, sex relieves stress. For women, it can create more stress, especially if we already had stress in our body. So we need that conversation. We need our partner to listen to us and to be there for us emotionally. And if he does that, which is very simple, all you need to do is have patience and listen to her and be on her side. That's all you need to do. And if you do that, then suddenly she'll be the one initiating the sex. She does want to have sex with you. She just needs help getting there. She needs help getting to her sexual energy. And with women, our sexual energy is buried underneath all the other emotions that we're carrying with us throughout the day. So we need a container for all those emotions, a safe place for those emotions to be expressed. And then suddenly the sexual energy can actually come up. And again, with men, it's the other way around. They have all this stress, but the sexual energy, so with men, the sexual energy is above the stress, and with us, it's beneath the stress. So we need to clear the stress to meet in the middle. So that's a big difference between men and women on, what makes us horny. And a lot of couples tell me, and this is just like something that I'm adding, they'll, and I just had a couple recently, they told me this story, right? She comes home stressed from work. He comes home stressed from work. He wants to have sex to relieve that stress. She doesn't even know what he's talking about. She doesn't want any sex. She wants to relieve the stress. And so she says no to the sex, and then he goes to another room and watches porn and masturbates to relieve the stress. And then she gets pissed and upset and jealous, and she feels like she's not worthy and he doesn't love her anymore. So the first thing that I explain to them is what I just talked about, is the differences. Sometimes for men, the ejaculation helps them relieve the stress. And I understand that as a woman, you also have stress, but the sex is not the thing that's going to help you relieve it. So if you see he's in a lot of stress and you're in a lot of stress and you don't want to have sex, why do you care that he goes to masturbate with porn? Who cares? Do whatever you do to relieve your stress, then come back and help me with mine. And, after you help me with my stress, I might be horny, so if you're not horny anymore because you just masturbated with porn, that could suck. But then I can masturbate too. It's not a big deal. Maybe you're horny again and we can have sex another time, But women are so fragile and so insecure that if he went to masturbate with porn, then he doesn't love me anymore. He's not attracted to me anymore. That's not the case in a lot of the times. It could be. Check it. It could be, but for many couples, that's not the case. He just had so much stress from his day that he needed that sexual relief in order to even talk to you, because he couldn't. He had so much stuff going on in his head, he doesn't know how to contain it. He needed that. So how do we bridge between these differences? First of all, if you're a woman and you come home after work with a lot of stress and you don't know in what state your husband's going to come home in. He might come home very patient and happy and everything, but he might come home with a lot of stress too, and I know that. So I want to find other ways as a woman to relieve my stress. And like I said, it's with conversation, it's with putting it all out there. So you can write and put it all out on the page and write all the things that are stressing you out. You can talk to a good friend and just vent on all the things that are happening to you in your life. You can go to therapy. You can go to a healing session. You can go to a group set. Whatever you need, find that way to relieve the stress that you come home with by yourself, just like he goes to the porn and masturbates. Now, with women, I don't think porn and masturbation is necessarily going to be the thing that's going to help you. So find a way that's going to help you relieve the stress. And then when you do meet your husband at the end of the day, after you've relieved a lot of your stress by yourself, maybe pay attention to him. And if he has come home with a lot of stress and a lot of issues and things that are going on, maybe initiate sex, because the sex is going to help him relieve his stress. And then after the sex, I have less stress because I already relieved it. I let it go. And then I helped him let his stress go with the sex. And then actually, I might enjoy the sex more as a woman. And that's good for everyone because we both want to enjoy the sexual interaction. And then after the sex, he's more relaxed, I'm more relaxed. Maybe then I can have that conversation I wanted to have with him, that intimate conversation about my emotions that will help us to connect again. But I don't think that we're coming from the same starting point. And I do think that we need to take that into consideration and not ignore it. And I think sometimes men want women to be more like men, and women want men to be more like women. And, we're just not the same. We act differently, we feel differently, our bodies are different, our brains are different, our hormones, everything is so different. And instead of, seeing the differences as the magic that connects us together, we use it against each other. And I don't think that's the right way to go. Definitely not if we want to love and feel good in life. And, having a partner, being married is, one of the reasons we do that is to feel better in life. And I think that's why so many couples are frustrated, because they got married so that they could feel better, but it just makes them feel worse. And I think a lot of the times it makes them feel worse because of these differences that they're not aware of, and then they don't know how to bridge the gap to come together in a better, more loving, compassionate, sexy way. So for me as a woman, if I have a conversation with a man and he is listening to me and he's on my side and he reminds me how amazing I am and he just lets me vent, at the end of that conversation, I'm usually very horny for sex. But if we didn't have that conversation, I'm not going to want to have sex. So I think we should take that into consideration. And again, I get it. Like a lot of the times I'm with the man and he needs me to contain him. Or he needs me to listen to him. Or he just needs to have sex for a second and then let's talk. And I get that. I take care of myself and my own stress so that I can be available for the man that I love. It doesn't always work. Sometimes it clashes, and we can talk about that and, find the different techniques and methods and practices so that we can learn how to relieve our stress and not depend on someone else to relieve it. And then maybe we'll have better sex and we'll be able to love each other and have better relationships. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. If it helped, please like, and if you like the video in general, these are the topics that I talk about, so please subscribe to my channel. It is a new channel and I'm trying to build it, and it kind of goes up and down and up and down, and I'm not really sure about the content yet, or if you even like me or not, or if this is something that I should do or not, and I'm kind of exploring it. So your likes mean a lot to me and your comments mean a lot, and every subscription, I say thank you, and I can't believe that another person has joined my channel, and you help me to believe in myself more. So thank you so much for your support, and I will see you in my next video.